And now for breaking news, and Republicans in Washington fast turning on Idaho Senator Larry Craig, who pleaded guilty to misdemeanor disorderly conduct after being arrested for lewd conduct at Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport last June. Joining me now live from Boise is the newspaper's editorial page editor, Kevin Richter, also former prosecutor Mark Eiglarsh. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on. Mark, could Craig attempt to reverse his guilty plea? Because under Minnesota law, apparently he could. It would be extremely tricky, and many say that it would actually easily backfire on the senator. How does that work?
He can, but he's not going to have any success. I mean, any defendant can, but there's a reason why they can't. The system would collapse if anyone could just call a do-over at any time. In his plea petition, in his own documents, he understood that he was waiving his right to go to trial, to confront the witnesses against him. He freely, voluntarily, knowingly, and intelligently gave up his rights. He also admitted responsibility for what he did. So I find it very questionable at this point why he's attempting to set aside his plea. Well, it's certainly going to persuade this judge to some extent, because a finding has already been made that it wasn't accidental, it wasn't negligent. He knew that he had failed to comply with his discovery obligations. He had evidence that could exculpate these three kids, and he chose not to turn it over. That was willful conduct. That was criminal. And I've said now several times publicly that the only way that justice will be served is if Mike Nifong tastes the inside of a jail cell and feels a little bit of the pain that these three guys had to go through. Okay, let's assume that it's true. All we've learned is something that I've known for over 16 years in the criminal justice arena. Jail sucks. The people who work in the jail are not out of the top hospitality schools in the country. They treat people poorly. But that being said, they treat everyone poorly. I sit with you. The worst idea yet, Lise. You've come up with some doozies in your day. But why do we want to clog up the legal system any more than we already have? Judge, she's totally out of order. She is totally out of order. Wearing a cap in the classroom and pulling down pants cannot plausibly be analogized to expressing their First Amendment right. He's wrong in that there's millions of people starving in this world, and he's devoting his resources to this issue.
Now, Mark, you of all people, yes. You're a handsome guy. You've spent some time out in the bars. Come on, Mark. You know that ladies' night is it's not about the ladies, it's to lure the ladies in for the men.
Oh, sure. Oh, no, I know that. In fact, what's going on really is that women, with all due respect, are the cheese, and the men are the rats, and they'll go wherever there's cheese. Perhaps that idea shouldn't go on any longer. They need to know, because we've got this little document that Lise keeps forgetting about called the Constitution. It's all right. It's not how our First Amendment works. We need to protect him against people like Lise who don't want him to express his feelings. Listen, this is a disability, and if it wasn't for legislation, there wouldn't be menus in Braille for those who can't read regular menus. There wouldn't be parking spots for those who have disabilities and handicaps. This is necessary. It's called compassion. And I say Lise never met a civil lawsuit she didn't love. Enough already with the civil lawsuits. I'm not going to defend the behavior of this flight attendant, no matter how annoying that child was. And you know, with all due respect to my fine advocate over there, you know, the road to hell was paved with good intentions. Again, I believe that he cares about these children, but in this particular case, there's no finding at all that these children were neglected or abused or not receiving equivalent education. The critical moment is right now. What she says to them, the way that she says it, what they do with her, and how they can't go back after the incident and create laws that's so frequently done when everybody's emotional. Some of the worst laws were created at a time like this.